Hello BookTube, my name is Elizabeth and welcome to Book Babble. So this week I'm going to be doing my weekly wrap-up, which also happens to be my wrap-up for the Read-O-Rama, which if you guys don't know, I was hosting over with a bunch of other lovely ladies. I've done a couple of update videos already this week, and I've done announcement videos and stuff like that. So if you want more information on Read-O-Rama, go check out one of those other videos. I had a freaking blast doing Read-O-Rama this week. It was exhausting. Hosting and running sprints and reading at the same time was a lot of work, but it was so worth it. It was so much fun. I really feel like we made something and we wanted to have fun with it, and it became something special and unique on BookTube, and I'm so proud of that, and I'm really excited to come back in June, which is when the summer session is going to be, so stay tuned for some more information on that in the next couple of months. I'm already really excited and I can't wait for our next session, but right now let me go ahead and do the books that I read this week. So before Read-O-Rama actually started on Saturday afternoon, I had already finished reading. I had recorded my wrap up for last week on Saturday, and I wasn't in the middle of a book or anything, so I figured I could read a couple of graphic novels before Read-O-Rama started, and I could indeed. And I've already returned almost all of my books to the library, so I don't have them here for you, but I read Amulet Volume 1, which I enjoyed, but I didn't enjoy as much as I thought I was going to. I didn't know it was like a middle grade. So I think I gave that a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and then I read Alex and Ada, which I really loved, and I gave that a 4 out of 5 stars, and I really love both of those graphic novels for different reasons, so I really won't go into it for sake of making this video super duper long, but I read both of those graphic novels before the Read-O-Rama started, and then as soon as the Read-O-Rama started on midnight, I started reading My Heart and Other Black Holes by Jasmine Warga. This is about a girl who goes online to seek a partner to commit suicide with, and it was a lot different than what I thought it was going to be. It was a bit hard to read if you've gone through similar things, like the two characters in here have gone through like depression and stuff. But it didn't, I was really worried that it was going to make me sad, and it was going to make me depressed, and it was going to get me into a bad place, but it didn't. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I really enjoyed the writing style and the way that Jasmine Warga put the issue across in this book. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, I believe. Plus, I love this cover so much. My Heart and Other Black Holes was to complete the challenge to read a contemporary. Then I got into Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, and I love it. I love it so much. I mean, this is a quintessential young adult fantasy novel. What makes it great is the dual perspectives from it's not, I say dual perspectives, it's multiple perspectives from a bunch of different characters, and the characters that you get their perspective in the first book could be different in the second book, because there's characters in the first book that we don't get to read from their perspective, but then we get to read from their perspective in the second book, and this series is just absolutely amazing. I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This specific book was to go towards the read a book with green on the cover. After Fallen Kingdoms, I read The Fire Wish by Amber Lowe, which is about a princess and a genie who, because of certain circumstances, they switch places, and it was actually really good. I thought this was a standalone, but it's actually a series, and the next book comes out in July, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, or a 4.5 out of 5 stars, I believe, and I'm really excited about the second one coming out. And The Fire Wish was for the challenge to read a diverse book. It is set in the Middle East. I mean, like, one of the main settings is Baghdad, and then there's a different setting where the genies live, which I don't think is a real place, but I'm not sure if Baghdad is set in, like, way in the past. I'm not sure, but it's obviously set in a real world place, so I use that as my diverse book, because the Middle East is definitely diverse for me. After The Fire Wish, I went on to Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes. Again, loved it. Like I talked about in my last update video, I love the map, how it's more detailed than the one in Fallen Kingdoms. I really enjoyed the series. Again, another 5 out of 5 stars. I started reading Thief Taker on the second day of Read-O-Rama, and I just realized that it was really heavy for me, and I wouldn't be able to read it in one solid day. So what I decided to try and do was to read about 50 pages a day, which I divided the whole book into 7 parts. So 7 parts for 7 days, and I would read about 50 pages a day. And that didn't happen. I really tried to get done with a book a day, and when that didn't happen, I tried to read as much of that book as I possibly could, so this got put on the back burner. I ended up reading 168 pages out of 385, so I mean, I got halfway through it, and I'm okay with that. This was to read a book that someone picks out for you, or a book from your TBR jar. My husband picked this out for me, and I really did like it. It's not that I didn't read it because I didn't like it, it's just that I really wanted to finish a book a day and then read about 50 pages of this, and sometimes that just didn't happen. Mostly with the Fallen Kingdom series. The Fallen Kingdom series is just a really heavy fantasy, and it was just so hard for me to get through, so I wasn't able to read this whole book, but I got through half of it, so that's half of one. And then on the last day of Read-O-Rama, I woke up late and I started reading Gathering Darkness by Morgan Rhodes. This is the third book in the Fallen Kingdom series. I got this one from the library. I am about 70 pages in. By the end of the week, I was just so done with reading. I was trying to participate in as many sprints as I possibly could, and really read as much as I could, and still stay on top of what people were saying about Read-O-Rama and videos that people were making and stuff like that. So I was just really exhausted by the last day, and I just didn't feel like reading. I literally vegged and watched television all day, and I tried to read as much of this as I possibly could. Again, I don't want you to think that I didn't like it, because I love the Fallen Kingdom series. It has quickly become one of my favorite series of all time, and I'm really glad that I was able to marathon it, and I'm definitely going to get done with this, hopefully today or tomorrow, because I have so many books on my TBR this month. But I really, really enjoyed it, and that was the last book that I read, and that was, so I actually fully completed 3 of the challenges, and I halfway completed the read a book that someone picks for you challenge, and I halfway completed the book to finish the series. So I'm just gonna say that I completed 4 challenges, because I completed 3 challenges, and then I completed half of 2 challenges. So we'll just say 4. I do want to say before I go, guys, that I am just so happy about how amazing Read-O-Rama has turned out and how much I love it, and I'm so excited for the next session that we do, and I really commend everyone who has or will be running a readathon, because it is hard work, guys, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without all of the amazing hosts, Chloe, Emily, Danny, and Katie, and it's crazy how amazing this week has turned out, and I'm just so thankful to everyone who participated, and all of the hosts who helped me out, and just all of it. So thank you guys so much for coming to my weekly wrap-up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.